The unspoken power. How to silence anyone without saying a word. Have you ever felt that sickening knot in your stomach, the flush of anger, the desperate urge to scream, to defend, to lash out? It happens when your words, your logic are drowned out by noise, when respect vanishes in the heat of an argument. You try to articulate something vital, but the other person isn't listening. They're shouting louder, interrupting faster, attacking more aggressively. In that moment, you feel a profound powerlessness. It's as if you're trapped, and every verbal blow lands directly on your dignity, your right to be heard. You walk away defeated, haunted by the perfect retort you should have delivered. You crave a way to cut through the chaos, to disarm the aggressor, to reclaim your inner peace without descending into their ugliness. You yearn for a silence that isn't born of defeat, but of profound, unshakable strength. Today we're going to talk about that silence, the kind that echoes louder than any shout, forces reflection, and places you in a position of unassailable power, not through aggression, but through an ancient, almost forgotten wisdom. The illusion of dominance. Why we lose control. Our culture often equates strength with volume, conviction with imposition, and respect with fear. But this isn't true respect, it's momentary domination, a fragile victory built on intimidation. True power isn't about imposing your will through brute force. It's about expressing yourself with such clarity, control, and unshakable inner calm that the other person has no choice but to listen. When confronted with aggression, our primal instincts kick in. The amygdala screams danger, triggering fight or flight. We're tempted to meet fire with fire, but this is precisely where we lose. By engaging on their terms, we cede our power. We allow their emotional turbulence to hijack our rationality. The Stoics understood this trap. They spoke of the internal citadel, an unassailable fortress of the mind. We cannot control external events, others, actions, or words, but we possess absolute sovereignty over our internal world, our judgments, desires, and aversions. To lose emotional control in response to aggression is to surrender this sovereignty. It is an uncomfortable truth. We often participate in our own disempowerment by fighting battles on terms that don't serve us. We mistake reaction for strength, becoming slaves to the chaos we despise. But what if there was another way? A way to stand firm, speak truth, and command respect, not by shouting, but by embodying an unshakable presence. A way to silence the noise with intelligent precision. This is the path of the Stoic, mastering the art of the intelligent response. The 5 pillars of unshakable presence. Stoic responses for modern conflict. Pillar 1. I don't need to raise my voice to be right. Picture this: a tense meeting, a family argument, a heated exchange. The other person escalates, their voice rising, words sharpening, interrupting, imposing. They expect you to meet their level, to join their cacophony. This is the trap. Most people believe they must shout louder to be heard, but if you play that game, you've already lost. You've allowed their emotional state to dictate yours, surrendering your inner calm. Instead, maintain an unnerving serenity. Look them in the eye, your voice steady, calm, clear. I don't need to raise my voice to be right. The effect is often immediate, almost magical. It doesn't just stop their attack, it sends an unmistakable message. You are not playing on the field of emotional confrontation. You operate on a different plane, mental dominance. In that instant, they realize something has shifted. You are no longer arguing, you are leading. You demonstrate profound self-control, a form of power in itself. Epictetus, the former slave and Stoic philosopher, famously said, "He who cannot control his tongue will be a slave to his emotions." This isn't repression, it's real strength. Your logic, your truth, your dignity don't require volume. They stand on their own merit. Your quiet confidence speaks volumes. This phrase not only silences the shouter, but opens the eyes of those around you. When you speak with unwavering serenity in a storm, everyone instinctively recognizes who truly holds power, who possesses unshakable presence. You become the eye of the hurricane, a beacon of reason amidst chaos, a force more potent than any shout. It's the power of the unsaid, the calmly asserted truth that needs no external validation. Pillar 2. The way you speak says more about you than it does about me. We've all faced attacks not with logic, but with sarcasm, mockery, or contempt. The tempting response is to retaliate, to hurl back an insult. But this is a trap where many lose, not because their argument is weak, but because they descend to the aggressor's level. They allow another's venom to infect their spirit. This phrase, however, is like holding up a clean mirror. It doesn't respond with violence or desperation. It simply reflects, with quiet dignity, what the other person is showing. The way you speak says more about you than it does about me. Uttered calmly, without malice, it deactivates their venom. You're not insulting them, not seeking approval, and not accepting their game. You're stating an objective truth about their behavior. Imagine a colleague making a snide, hurtful comment. Instead of lashing out, you deliver this phrase. They hear themselves, perhaps for the first time, through your calm reflection, feeling the uncomfortable weight of their own words. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This phrase is its perfect translation. You maintain inner peace and subtly force them to confront their disrespect. You refuse to be dragged into their swamp. When you don't react as expected, you change the script, breaking the pattern of escalation. You fundamentally change the dynamic. This phrase is for those who refuse to stoop, surrender dignity, or let others' attitudes define them. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This defines your character and the respect others offer. In an argument, it means you don't need to shout to win. You need to respond with precision, self-awareness, and an unshakable sense of who you are. Pillar 3. Let's talk when we can do it respectfully. Some conversations are not conversations. They are attacks disguised as dialogue. The other person interrupts, raises their voice, imposes their truth, expecting you to keep pace. But you are not obligated to participate in a dirty game. This phrase is not a retreat. It's a declaration of principles. Let's talk when we can do it respectfully. It is direct, mature, and unshakably firm. You are not running away, you are raising the standard. Imagine discussing a sensitive topic with someone who constantly cuts you off, dismisses your points, and grows aggressive. Instead of escalating, you pause, you breathe, you calmly state, "Let's talk when we can do it respectfully." In that moment, you shift the conversation's axis. It's no longer just about the topic, it's about the minimum conditions for meaningful dialogue. You assert that your time, energy, and presence are valuable and won't be squandered in an environment devoid of basic decency. Epictetus would see this as self-mastery. You cannot control what others do, but you can control what you accept. By saying this, you draw a clear line. You don't need to shout or over-explain. You establish an emotional boundary. This boundary often forces the other person to look inward, confront their behavior, and often fall silent. Whoever cannot speak with respect loses the privilege of speaking with you. This is the unexpected twist. By refusing their game, you force them to confront their own inadequacy. You disarm the manipulator not by fighting, but by refusing to fight on their terms. You reclaim the narrative through an elegant assertion of your worth and the standards you demand. Dignity triumphs over discord. Pillar 4. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. There are moments when continuing a conversation is pointless. The other person isn't listening, doesn't want to understand. Their sole objective is to win, even at the cost of your peace, energy, or sense of self. In these toxic impasses, this phrase becomes your most potent shield. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. It's simple, clear, and profoundly powerful. It doesn't ask for permission or offer justifications. It simply, elegantly, ends it. Consider a verbal battle with someone intent on provoking you, every word laced with poison. You feel your patience thinning, the urge to explode overwhelming. Instead, you breathe. You look at them with serene resolve and say, "I'd prefer not to continue this conversation." The effect is immediate, cutting the toxic dynamic at its root. Most importantly, it gives you back control, not over them, but over your own internal state. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." When you choose not to continue a harmful conversation, you are not giving up. You are making a conscious, powerful choice to protect your energy, focus, and dignity. You are deciding your inner peace is worth more than the last word in a futile exchange. This is not avoidance. It is profound self-preservation. It's a declaration that your well-being is non-negotiable. Whoever witnesses this understands you're not avoiding conflict. You're rising above it. This phrase is like locking a door, a necessary, sometimes painful, but ultimately empowering act. Closing that door, even if it means leaving things unsaid, is the greatest act of strength. It's the ultimate expression of valuing your mental and emotional sanctuary above a verbal victory. Pillar 5. That's your opinion and I respect it, but I don't share it. Not all arguments stem from malice. Often challenging disagreements arise with those we care about, friends, colleagues, family, who, with good intentions, impose their worldview. They cross boundaries, attempting to mold your thoughts. In these moments, you need a phrase that asserts your position respectfully, without yielding your autonomy. That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. This isn't confrontation, it's definition. It says, I hear you, I value you, but I have my own judgment. Imagine a loved one pushing a life path, a belief you don't share. Instead of endless debate or silent resentment, you calmly state this phrase. The other person is forced to accept your stance, not because you crushed their argument, but because you acknowledge their right to an opinion while reaffirming your own. You're not dismissing their view, you're powerfully asserting yours. Seneca wisely stated, to be a slave to the opinion of others is the worst of all prisons. This phrase is the key to escaping that prison. It's an elegant way of saying, I think for myself and I don't need your approval. Using this consistently cultivates emotional independence. When others realize they can't pressure you, they begin to respect you more, not out of fear, but for your character, self-possession, and quiet strength. You become a person who cannot be easily manipulated or provoked, commanding respect rooted in genuine esteem. The transformation from reaction to leadership. You now possess 5 powerful responses, tools that defend your inner sanctuary and strengthen your presence. These are not mere retorts, they are philosophical declarations. Wielded with serenity, confidence, and clarity, they compel others to fall silent. Not because you've crushed them, but because you've risen above them. You've refused the petty squabbles of ego, choosing the high ground of principle and self-mastery. This is the profound transformation Stoicism offers, shifting from a reactive participant, tossed by emotional tides, to a calm, confident leader. You move from seeking external validation to cultivating unshakable internal strength. This journey embodies the Stoic idea of virtue as the sole good. Each response reinforces wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Consider Nietzsche's concept of self-overcoming, striving to master lower instincts and create your own values. These responses are precisely that, acts of self-overcoming, choosing the disciplined path over the easy, reactive one. Plato described the ideal soul where reason governs passions. When you choose a measured response over an impulsive one, you align with Plato's vision of a well-ordered soul. You allow reason to lead. This transformation is deeply experiential. The empowerment from disarming an aggressor, the respect earned, the profound inner peace from protecting your mental space are tangible rewards. You become a person of presence, control, whose quiet voice carries immense weight. You learn that true respect isn't imposed. It's inspired by character, by the unwavering integrity of a mind that refuses to be swayed by external chaos. You become a living testament to the power of a disciplined mind. The lingering question, what will you choose? You now have these 5 powerful responses. Knowledge, however, is not enough. True wisdom lies in application. The choice is yours. Will you remain a slave to external provocations, allowing others' noise to shatter your peace? Or will you choose the Stoic path of self-mastery? Remember Epictetus's 2 handles, one by which an event can be carried, one by which it cannot. The external event is often beyond your control, but your response, the handle you grasp, is always within your power. Will you choose reaction, anger, and chaos, or wisdom, calm assertion, and dignified disengagement, maintaining your unshakable presence? This isn't just about winning arguments. It's about reclaiming your sovereignty, cultivating an inner fortress, and living a life of profound integrity. It's about becoming a person others listen to, not because you demand it, but because your very being commands it. It's about the quiet power of a mind that has chosen freedom. What will you choose? The answer echoes in the silence you create.